Hello everyone, today I wanted to continue along with our theme that we started yesterday of our dungeons. Instead of walls, today we're going to draw the floors. And I'm just going to teach you 3 quick ways you can do that, because 3 floor tile styles is pretty good. You get a decent amount of variety from those 3. So I'm just drawing in a real quick example grid here, just for the purpose of demonstration, nothing precise, and jumping straight in with our marker. Our first style shall be the ever so simple concrete slab, we'll call it, for these 5 by 5 tiles are quite an immense piece of stone when you think about it. And I'm just going to draw in over our grid our intersections, tile intersections. These ones I also like to throw in randomly assigned thick lines. That just, you see how that gives them just a sort of pop, brings them out of the page a little bit. And as happens with such immense slabs of stone, when any weight is placed upon them, they're going to crack. And they're going to crack, and they're going to crack. And we're just kind of drawing 45-degree lines in, mixed in with some stones. So the 3 elements you can add to this one, 45-degree lines, just placed as many as you like, and some stones and some dashes, which just give a little hint of texture. Okay, second style, we're going to do the same thing again with, please excuse me, this grid is not square but rectangle instead. We're going to draw in the edges. And we're going to, before we add in our thick lines, we're going to divide these up into smaller tiles. So we've got all of the grid lines drawn in so that there is a comprehensible grid to the whole thing. And then with a thinner, slightly thinner line, we're going to throw in just a smattering of tiles that make sense. Now we're going to be careful not to line up these with the next tile. We're going to make it deliberately different. And we're just throwing in medium-sized tiles of roughly the same size. And if you end up with a big tile like this one, crack him, because he's roughly the same as this one. So I'm just throwing in a crack there. Of course, you can always decorate with some more rocks and stuff if you're so inclined. But I do highly recommend getting that thick line, especially for the grid, so that the grid is always rather defined, but just mix it in there and you'll get a little extra depth out of your drawing that way. And our third style, which I kind of previewed yesterday, I like to keep this style along the edge of a wall. So, in fact, just forget about these lines. I'm going to draw it on this side. This area being our room, this being our wall, we're going to draw in cobblestone shapes, which are a mix of rounded triangles and rounded rectangles. Just kind of bundled together with a little hatching in between if you're feeling fancy. And then as we move away from the wall will be where they're most dense, most cluttered. we're going to just kind of space them out and out until once we're away from the wall where they're a solid line, that we're just going to fill in with random patches of these. And this is a good place to practice your rule of threes or rule of odd numbers. Odd numbers are generally more visually appealing than duos or well, that's just a word that's not coming to mind today. Goodness me, what is that word? Please excuse me, I just had a carb-heavy dinner and my brain is taking its coffee break. But that's the idea. Nice and thick along the wall, and then scattered and spaced away from the wall. And your grid lines will kind of be visible in here. You need not draw them in. I'm assuming you're using a mat or something, or like a print template to get your grid lines. Maybe I'll do a guide about that sometime. And that's the idea. And you can also throw in these little texture dots too. That's something I like to do. Just evenly spaced, randomly allocated, just wherever there's a space that looks like it needs something. And there you have it. There are 3 styles of dungeon floors, which you can mix and match to create quite a varied dungeon surface. So, I hope that's been useful to you, and please let me know what you'd like to see next, because I'll be back tomorrow. Farewell.